Hello, guys. Welcome back to Talk Football Live. It is Matchweek 18 of the English Premier League, and I am joined today by Okhai and Odogwu. No guessing where they're from. You can see the Red Devils of Manchester United and Odogwu repping the City Blue. How
You
you
can
guys?
say big red devils. Don't just we
Oh,
gotta put
okay.
respect on our name and when we're more Manchester City and all.
Current big or former big?
We're always big. We're always
Always
big.
big.
Yeah, always big.
Odogu, do you agree? Odogu is like whatever, quietly being like whatever.
The results speak for itself now.
Okay. If not, that people going to go and get a wizard to come and be coaching your team. We'll be talking here.
All right. Before we dive into the games, today we're going to be just giving brief overviews of each match and giving our thoughts on what each match looks like. We're almost at that halfway point. However, the January transfer window is about to open. News is already, flying through, and I think the main one that is in the media right now is that Semenyo over at Bournemouth looks to be going over to Manchester City. Odogo, please explain to me, like, why is your team trying to, like, you guys have Cherky, you have Savinho, you have Doku. Foden
I
can
think
play on the
I think
wing.
you
But
you
on
you
the
see
Liverpool
how
is
relevant it is. Arsenal of all teams can understand how important it is to be stocked. Pep Guardiola is no new person to being fully staffed. And this guy can easily be on the right wing and do a lot of wonders, complement what Doku is doing on the left. Pep always needs options, so the man is not satisfied, and this is a great addition from Bournemouth if it happens.
if it happens. Yeah, I think the rumors are. I think David Ornstein and Fabrizio said City are the front runners, but of course, nothing is confirmed yet.
I think
Um,
Liverpool is also interested, right?
Everybody.
Liverpool, yeah, Liverpool are interested. I actually think he'll be a better fit at Liverpool, even though I don't want anybody to get him at least right now. But we'll see. Man U were interested in the summer,
He's
but I
our
think
boy.
the price scared them away, and they went for Cunha instead because I think Bournemouth were holding out for 80 million in the summer. You mentioned something though. You said on the right wing. I was thinking more on the left as a backup for Doku or an alternate.
I was looking at
On the
some
right.
predictions the analysts are making earlier, and those Man City loyal fans they already drew some charts. So he can play either way, but
Right.
honestly speaking, when I look at the right, there's no natural right winger there or somebody who can own that side. Doku's already on the left, so I like him starting on the right. I'll prefer him to Savinio, for instance. So that's
Right.
why I dub him, on the right, with Doku having a great
But
performance on
Cherky
the
plays
left.
on the right now, right? Like because
Who?
Foden plays in that 10 role and then Cherky plays on the right.
Yeah. So now it's like Cherky is the one who's been holding it down on the right. Even though he can do that, he's naturally more of a center attacking supplier. So
Mm.
hey, we have options. That's all that counts. Yeah, but this guy will be great right there.
Nah, I don't know what else to say, but okay. I hope it
My,
doesn't happen, but it's it's looking likely or unlikely.
my own.
Yeah. But I'm even shocked you were surprised because hey, knowing Pep Guardiola, this type of move is possible. You guys have seen how beneficial it is to just have a nice squad going into all these competitions, including Champions League. So
Man, even with the nice squad, like injuries are still stretching us thin, man. Like there was a point we only had I think Trossard, Gyökeres, and Noni Madueke up front. Like of all the attackers we had, only those three were available. Now we're having something similar in defense where it's just the four defenders or five defenders that we have. So I get it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not for City. I don't get it. I want you guys to have injuries to struggle.
Okay, take for instance what he had in the left back situation. He planned this season mainly with Aitnori, but how many
Mhm.
games has Aitnori played? So you
I know
get
he's
where
not
I'm
even
coming
in the team
from.
anymore, even though he's fit now, right?
Yeah. But that one injury that happened back then is just something else.
Yeah, amen. We need one like that for Haaland, and then I think the league will be
Oh
fine.
no.
Bad prayers, man.
Let me do my prediction though. I think that you guys are talking like if no, the Semenyo deal is already one and done and all. Don't forget though, early in the season, Manchester United had already agreed to terms with Semenyo. We have a report saying that what you call it, Amorim already met with him. They had dinner multiple times leading up to the summer. The only thing that happened there is whenever Manchester United's name is being called in any transfer situation, the club basically looks at it as an avenue to just milk the biggest cow in the game or the most desperate cow. And finally, we have a coach now who is basically like, no, if the money doesn't make sense, we're not going to buy the player. And he went with an easier player who he felt like if he had some more rapport with Cunha, being the Portuguese coach, he was able to basically transfer information back and forth to him. So now that Semenyo now, or they now finally had a release clause set for 65 million, which basically puts Bournemouth at a reasonable stage. Manchester United now can basically evaluate and see if Semenyo now could be a good fit. From a personal perspective, from what I'm seeing, he already has his mind set. And we know that African players always have a couple of clubs in their minds that they definitely want to move to, right? Be it Manchester United, Arsenal, maybe Chelsea for the later stage ones. Manchester City just came into the picture with Guardiola. And don't forget this, Guardiola too, we also all has this little cloud too, saying that in the next 1 to 2 years, Guardiola is going to be moving on to probably the Spanish head coach job or something else. So a player now who basically wants to break into a squad is going to look at it as, oh, am I just going to win one or two EPLs or maybe one Champions League and not really be part of a dynasty? I would say that if
There'll
you
be a good replacement. Don't worry.
move to that, Semenyo is coming to Manchester United to basically work through that process. And I'm hoping because he fits into our specific rhythm now moving forward. We're having little issues or a little rotation situation with Mount coming into places that we basically like, well, it's not really working out that much. But to have a rotation like Semenyo there, he can basically kick all of them out himself, Mbemo, as well as Cunha, and then basically figure out a way to basically work with Bruno Fernandes, and I'm sure we'll be hitting it on all cylinders. So I would say that the decision is still up in the air. I don't give it to Manchester City if you
Yeah,
ask.
we're gonna compete for him to the end. Let's see. But there's
So
interest.
you're
Let's
not
see.
ruling out him going over to Manchester United then. Okay.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be an interesting one to see how it plays out.
We'll see how that one plays out. Any other interesting transfers that you guys have heard? I think that's the biggest one that has hit the news so far. But we're not even the window hasn't even opened yet.
No,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
haven't heard any big ones.
All right. So you guys stay tuned for more updates. We'll bring the news as it's breaking once the transfer window opens and we're getting more updates. But for now, we'll go over and look into match week 18, the first game, which is on Boxing Day. I think the EPL
The
is
only boxing game.
going slowly away from tradition. Normally, a lot of games used to be on Boxing Day. Now there's only one fixture on that day for media reasons. But it's Okai's Man U and Newcastle facing up. Okai, tell us how are you feeling for this game? What are your thoughts,
Oh,
predictions?
well, to be honest, like I think it's a big toss up, right? I mean, I'm a neutral fan or a reasonable fan if you ask me, but I would say that we'll win. The first thing why I'm saying that is the fact that okay, we know that Bruno Fernandes had a major injury over the last game that we had with Aston Villa and all, so there's going to be a huge miss there from a creativity perspective. Newcastle just basically got edged out of the game against Chelsea by them drawing 2-2. And also, they've been on a good run leading all the way to this point. Volmera is scoring amazing goals. Burns is also coming in as well as doing great things. And then the rotation out there in top front is great. Manchester United on the defensive end, we're still trying to figure it out. Putting Lissandro in there, Haven pivoting in there for us in the center. And then now with Hamad gone, with nobody really tracking back, we're trying to put Dalot back there also to help us with that wing and watch people like Harvey Burns as well as Gordon going through that specific wing now. So for me personally, I would stick with the safer route to say it will be a draw because from a creativity perspective, if we don't play Bruno Fernandes, I don't see Cunha basically putting the team on his back. From an attacking perspective now with Sesko and Zerski, they haven't given us that good what do you call it confidence to say that these guys will basically produce at least one or two goals in that game. It might just be Mount or somebody else, or probably a set piece. We're losing Mbemo too to the African Cup of Nations, seeing Cameroon just beat Gabon a couple of minutes ago. So for me personally, if we draw, it to be a good thing, and then we can peter it out until the next game, because Newcastle, man, they're very, very big pit bull to handle at this time, and I don't really want to see them, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a tough game for you guys. I think you guys, you've had a unstable patch of results recently, but missing Fernandez, I think that's going to be a big miss for you guys. And then you're also missing Amada and Mbeumo, like you said. How do you think Amorim lines up? How do you think he tries to compensate? You get Casemiro back, so is it a case of just Casemiro coming back into midfield with Ugarte, or any other tweaks or thoughts that you see for how you guys manage to, like you said, balance out this rampant Newcastle team?
I know, I know. I mean, but when you think about it, right, most especially in the areas that really makes a lot of sense in the center, you have either Casemiro and Ugarte basically playing in there, but you cannot really replace a Fernandez. And even if you replace him now and putting in Kobe Mano in there for creative edge or something like that, what is the motivation for Kobe Mano to basically push as well as create or give us good results, right? He's trying to look for a transfer probably in January so he can get some better playing time and make the English World Cup team and all that. So I don't even know from a motivation perspective who could basically come in there and really do the good business.
Is Manu fit for this game? Because I think reports said he was injured for the last game against Villa. So
Yeah.
is he likely to be available for this game, or is he out? I'm not sure the extent of his injury.
Yeah, chances probably from what I saw could be probably like 75%. But if you ask me, I'm a player like him. I've been sad all season. I'm looking for a way to basically keep myself low so I can pass my physical in the next team I'm trying to get into and then move forward. I'm just being realistic.
Right,
So for the
right.
players that we have, will Ugarte and Casemiro do the business against Joelinton, what you call it, Gimenez and co? Yes, that's what you need. You need players who will be able to sit back there and make sure that the only ways in which Newcastle can break you down will be out there in the wings, utilizing either Harvey Burns, Gordon, depending on what Newcastle picks, as well as on the right side too. That, to be honest, it's a game in which, from a defensive perspective, we're not really that solid. Euro, Haven, they haven't really given us that good confidence. Yes, we score goals, but don't forget we also get scored on and all. We've basically been doing that for a couple of games now. So for me personally, if they score against us, who's going to score the goals? Who's going to create those goals? Fernandez out, that's a big loss, if you ask me.
Yep, yep. Yeah, Haven. I mean, Haven came over from Arsenal, so I'm a bit familiar with him. He actually impressed me in the game against Villa. I was surprised. I'm surprised to see him playing in the center of the defense as opposed to the left side of that back, which was where he started out playing out for Man U initially. Euro, I have not been impressed with, and you guys are definitely also missing Maguire and De Ligt. Are those two back for this game as well, or are they still out?
Well, I think Maguire's injury could be for a prolonged time. I saw him out up there in the stands the last game, so I haven't even looked at the squad report in order to basically check those out. But I think that even what do you call it, the league too is also also out for a little bit. But I could check that out real quick just to see
Yeah,
what Maguire's situation is at all. But yeah,
there's a
it's
site I
it's
go to that I trust for injury reports. So I'm just bringing them up. Need to find Manchester United, but I'll pull that up and we'll see the. Anyway, I'll bring that up and find it in a few. But anyways, okay.
Make sure
So
make sure you stop Ultimate from shooting, man. Stop that
man,
guy.
that dude is good.
he doesn't miss.
Mhm.
The next game up is yours, Odogwu, against Nottingham Forest and Man City. Before we go to that, though, okay, what's the result you would predict for this game?
So I predict a 2-1 win for Manchester United. I think more than anything, I think that it's time for Sesko to basically come up and give us the goods. Sesko and
Okay.
Mount come in and then they'll basically create. Cunha might be one of the scorers, but I predict Sesko will basically light it up this
Hmm.
time at Old Trafford.
Okay, interesting. Okay. 2-1 win. I'm expecting another draw just because I feel like Newcastle, as well as they're playing, for some reason are not able to close out their games. But
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. Okay,
Yeah, with
Odogwu.
especially with those Man U injuries, it's kind of looking like a draw in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, you are missing players, that was my fear for them to against Villa. Like, Mbuemo and Amada are a big miss already, and then you guys have added Bruno to that pile. Not looking favorable.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Over to Man City. Man City is our first game on Saturday. You guys come up against Nottingham Forest. I think the reports say that you guys now have 3 clean sheets in a row with Donnarumma, which is something that Man City struggled with earlier this season. You guys, for the most part, were vulnerable in defense. It seems like Pep has fixed that defense now. You're coming up against Sean Dyche. What do you expect from this one?
It's going to be interesting. I was seeing Sean Dykes talking about the injury situation getting better. I think they have, what's his name? Is it Celts or whatever? And somebody else coming back. While I guess Chris Wood and Olai now still recovering. However, for them, it's been a case where we're looking at them. They're 17 out of the last 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses. For us, it's different. Even though we're still missing Jeremy Doku, but there's still a good confidence in the team. You mentioned the 3 clean sheets. And going into this game, crucial parts, Boxing Day, day after, it's a key game for us. I want to keep chasing and putting that momentum and possibly coming first. So I see us definitely taking them out. I know you're doing all that, but
Over my dead body.
when you think about it, right, and you're going to see a lot when we talk about the next game. For us, it's all about maintaining the pressure, not just talking about Donnarumma, right? The overall team has just worked hard in all competitions in the last 5 games, including that EFL game, as well as the game against Madrid, is figuring out a way to win, no matter what's missing. Been very impressed with, Bernardo Silva just working well with Nico and connecting the rest of the midfield, just doing Pep's assignments. Or is it Foden or Cherky? Cherky, who's had the most assists this season, and he hasn't even played, how many games compared to the other major stars. So the team is balanced. They're very focused. We're missing some things, and all I can say is we're going to keep on the pressure. And against Sean Dykes, Forest, please, I'm hoping we have to do it 3-1. We have to do it 3-1.
3-1. Okay, so you are expecting to concede in this game, it sounds like.
Yes. We have to just keep up the pressure. That's the only thing.
I'm okay with pressure. Keep up pressure. Just do it from the back. All right. So you're expecting a 3-1 win. Okay, over to our game. So Arsenal is home to Brighton. Brighton have been inconsistent so far this season. I think we talked about them on here a couple weeks ago. And we were saying the same thing, that they've been inconsistent. We looked at the table. They were 5th in the table actually at the time. But at that time, I think there was so much congestion in the table. There's still that level of congestion, but I think we're starting to see some separation. So if we look at Brighton now, Brighton is down in 9th, 5 points off the top 4. And they're settling into about maybe where we would expect them to be at. I expect Arsenal will dominate. That's just the nature of the way Arsenal plays these days. There are very few teams that can match us when it comes to possession, when it comes to control of the game. Not many clubs outside the top 4, and definitely not Brighton to an extent. So I expect we will dominate. The problem is we've been struggling in attack with scoring recently. I saw a stat recently that said we've won the last 3 games with own goals and 1 penalty. So we haven't scored, not even our regular, corner kicks, or, there was a time we're being called set piece FC. We haven't scored from a set piece. We haven't scored an actual goal from open play in about 3 games so far.
A win is a win.
But that's what I keep saying. All that matters at the end of the day is just give me the 3 points. I don't care how we do it. Penalty, free kick, somebody handballs it into their net. Just end up with the 3 points, however which way. I will feel a lot better when we have Gabriel back. I mean, yes, we have a deep squad and we're managing to find bodies to replace him. Hincapié is definitely not at Gabriel's level, but he's been okay there at the back. But I feel like when Gabriel is back, he just brings a different level to the team, not just from his defensive solidity with Saliba in terms of composure, in terms of, being a good, really good defender, but also in attacking set pieces. When he's in the box, either on free kicks or at corners, he distracts the whole defense because everybody knows what he's capable of. And I think that just tends to take away pressure from, a lot of other players, frees up people like Merino to get in the box, to an extent to Gyökeres and other guys when we're on set pieces. And I think also gives confidence to the attackers that they can try and take more risks. I think that's maybe one aspect as well, is the attackers maybe feel a bit too controlled. They're not willing to take as many risks because the defensive solidity isn't always there. Someone like Rice as well has to watch his runs. You don't see a lot of those late runs into the box by Rice now because he knows he has to, keep an eye on protecting the defense. So I think Gabriel being back will really help us both defensively and attacking. I don't think he's back for this game. I'm expecting him to be back for the Villa game the week after. But I would still expect that we can manage a win in this game. I will go for a similar result like Okhai and go for a 3-1 win. I think we're due some goals from open play. The attack has been good for in the EFL Cup when we played Crystal Palace yesterday. Our expected goal was actually 2.76, which says we should have scored 2 or 3 goals in that game. But we only scored 1. So I expect the goals will come. It's just a matter of time. The positive part is we're getting our attackers back now. Jesus is back. He played, I think, a good 70 or 80 minutes yesterday. Gyökeres is fit. He didn't play at all yesterday, so he got some rest. Kai is back in training. Kai, I don't think will be available for this game, but again, I'm expecting him back for Villa. So positive signs so far. All right.
Oh yeah. Bryson hasn't managed a win in the last 4 games, so I'm not worried for you. I think you guys got that
We
one.
need to keep that run going for them. Let them find their win somewhere else.
I was surprised, in as much as you said that Arsenal scored yesterday, it was an own goal. So the fact that those nobody actually scored a goal actually gave me some concern. But
Yeah.
Bucharest is back. I know he's fit, and that guy is a beast. So that's really my only thing. He's rested. He'll definitely pull something off when it comes to
He's rested. He's not scoring as much as we maybe would like, but I think he brings so much else to the team that he's just like we need him to play. So
Why I'm not worried about the own goal or whatever for you guys is if you notice when you look at how Arsenal used to dominate before versus now it's more like full possession, total control, both attack, defense, where they were able to walk out with 1-0, 2-1, not even expensive 4-0 wins, but still control the game. So with the own goal situation or when they were on set pieces, I wasn't worried. So if they can keep it up and get the goal by any means, that's football.
yeah,
So yeah.
just gotta leave them right to the 3 points. That's all we need. We just need to keep winning our games and get Haaland injured.
And to that point, just pray that you have that, capacity and that fitness going into next season, because we're going through the crucial part. So January to April is very important, and I'll leave it there.
The squad is there, right? So Nani is there as a backup for Saka. Trossard and Martinelli have been doing okay. Martinelli got an injury yesterday, but I think he'll be fine. I think it was just a slight knock. I don't know if he definitely won't start against Brighton, but I think he should still be fine enough for the bench. So there's options there. Like I said, Jesus is back. So we have Jesus and Gyökeres up front. Kai too should be back in about a week or two. So the options are there up front. I expect the goals won't be a problem. It's Gabriel that I really need back. If we can keep Gabriel and Saliba fit through the rest of the season, I think the rest of the squad will be able to do their jobs elsewhere. Yeah. All right, moving on to Brentford, Bournemouth, and I'll just rotate through us now for the rest of the game. So, okay, I'll give this one to you. Brentford, Bournemouth.
Man, Brentford and Bournemouth, man, they've been surprising me, man. Fortunately for Bournemouth, Ghana is out of the AFCON, So they got Semenyo there in order for him to create. We saw him basically come back from a goal drought against Manchester United when he scored that amazing goal in order to make it 1-1, as well as also stringing some good games now, some good plays during the game. And all. On the Brentford side, we have Thiago, this amazing striker who just came out of nowhere and basically is now playing lights out and all that stuff. So this is definitely going to be a very good game between both sides. The way Bournemouth plays, very tactical. They try to keep it compact, and then they come at you from from a counter attack perspective. Brentford, in as much as they're still a shadow of themselves from a couple of years ago, probably a couple of years ago when they had Wisa, when they had Mbemo and the rest of them now, and then also their coach has also moved on too. Now they're just trying to find a way in order to just be a team that could just be formidable moving forward. So Thiago has been a good addition. And also, in this specific perspective, I'll give it to Bournemouth, man, because after they came back again, Manchester United has scored 4 goals, man, 4 amazing goals against a team that just kept on scoring. I would say that they're a team that doesn't give up at all. So they'll basically take this one out, probably 2-0 or probably 3-1, because I would see no way in which Thiago won't score or something like that. But at the same time, man, Bournemouth is definitely going to edge them out because they have good and amazing players in different parts of the pitch that can definitely get these results out.
Okay, so we're expecting a Thiago goal, but Bournemouth for the win. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. I think I saw that Thiago is on a 4-game run without scoring, and I think he's still the second highest goal scorer behind Haaland. So it sounds like he's due for one. All right, Burnley, Everton, Odogwu.
Oh, going for Everton in this case. I think Burnley is just still on that side of the bottom of the table, and I don't see them climbing much. If anything, they'll manage to pull out a draw out of this, but I'm going for Everton.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was a post-match conference from Scott Parker maybe a couple weeks ago, where they lost the game, and I think they played well, but again they lost, and the fans actually booed them in that game. I think it was a home game,
That's
and he
crazy.
talked about how for him it was like it just rang home about how this job is all about results, because he's like, just 3, 4, 5 months ago, the fans were cheering and singing, because they basically blazed through the championship. I think like over 100 goals scored. I think they barely conceded goals. Like they had some I don't know how many clean sheets, and they basically walked through the championship, and now they're struggling. The fans are already turning against them. So things can turn very quickly if you're not getting wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much confirming them for relegation, Odogwu.
Yeah, I mean, if they stay like this past the New Year game and they're still 18 to 20, relegation.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll take the Liverpool game. The news for Liverpool. So I think Mr. 007 Words finally got an assist in the EPL last weekend against Tottenham for Isak, who is still trying to find his feet, but unfortunately got an injury while scoring that goal. And even though Slot's comment said he'll be out for a couple of months, me, just from what I saw, and I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, I think Isak might be out for the season. I don't see him coming back before early April. It was an ankle injury that required surgery plus a fibular fracture. So I think just the complexity of needing those 2 things will take about 2 months to heal minimum. And then you're talking about recovery time. So best case scenario, we see him coming back end of March. Worst case,
That sucks.
might maybe just come in for the last couple games of the season. I think he'll still play this season, but he's going to miss a big chunk of what's left.
Yeah. It's a big blow, just given he's been trying to really get form over here this season.
Yeah. It's been one thing after the other. Somebody said, don't piss off Newcastle fans. They'll send bad luck your way. All right, Okhai, you take Westham Fulham.
Well, I know Westham and Fulham, man.
By the way, I didn't bother discussing the match because if you are playing Wolves these days,
it's a free
like you're just going to practice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
attack
true.
versus defense. So I expect Liverpool to win. But go ahead.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good stuff, good stuff. I mean, I think, man, I just feel so bad for West Ham, man. Their specific schedule currently, man. I think, well, they played Liverpool, they played Manchester United, they played Aston Villa, they've played Man City. And in these games, right, aside from the Liverpool game where they didn't score, they basically scored as well as their other games that they had also in other competitions and all. We have the likes of Bowen, who has basically just been lights out for them. Obviously they've just been trying to find their feet, and this might just be the exact moment for them to basically get a win under their foot. For the likes of Fulham now, man, they've had what, Tottenham, Man City, they lost, and they actually had a high scoring game, 5-4 against Man City. They played Crystal Palace, in which they lost, and then Burnley and Nottingham Forest, they also edged out those games too as well. They're losing a huge chunk of their players now to AFCON, with some of them representing Nigeria and also I would basically say from a defensive perspective, they have to figure it out. From a creative perspective, with Iwobi, Chukwueze that was also coming into the team, they also have to find a way in order to plug that in. So this might be, for me, I think that this might be West Ham's time in which they're probably licking their chops and saying we can actually take Fulham on and give them the business. So I'll give this up to Fulham because they've actually been playing beautiful football so
Yeah.
far. They just had a weird schedule. So Fulham is going to be up about what, 2-0, because I
Okay.
really don't see a way. Yeah, I mean, sorry, West Ham is going to be up about 2-0 in this game. So unfortunately,
Oh, okay.
they're going to eat it. They're going to eat it from them.
Interesting. Okay. I was gonna say I was looking to see how Fulham will adjust to the Nigerian boys being out because those three, Chukwueze was starting to come into some serious form. He hasn't really
Scored
played.
two against City,
Was
remember?
that?
He
Yeah.
scored two against
He
City,
scored
remember?
two against City. I think he has 4 assists as well so far this season. So he was really starting to come into it. Iwobi is one of their main creative forces, even though I know Nigerians like to put him down sometimes, but he's very creative for Fulham and Nigeria for that matter. And Bassi is their starting center back along with Joachim Anderson. So I was looking to see how they'd adjust those three being gone. But they seem to have done okay. They beat Forest 1-0 on Monday and they beat Burnley in the game before that 3-2. So it looks like they've stabilized to an extent, but we'll see. Like you said, it might just be too much for them against West Ham because West Ham have been trying to string things together as well. So we'll see how that one goes. All right, Odogu, this is another big one. I
Oh
personally
yeah.
like this fixture because I'm looking for separation at that top. Let me know who my real enemies are.
Oh yeah, and I can tell you one thing for sure. It's gonna be a good, interesting one to watch. Aston Villa, just keep watching out for them. They seem to be always advancing and creating that clear distinction, showing that they want to be at the top this season. You know, the top
Yeah.
four teams. For them, the last 11 games, all competitions, no losses. Last 7 games in the league, they've won it all through. And for these two coming head to head, Chelsea has that advantage where they could either play some long balls or with some magic here and there for Reece James. They can do something attacking wise. But Aston Villa is an all round solid team from defense to attack right now. And they've been making a lot of quick transitions. And even when it comes to what they've been conceding recently, they're conceding on the lower end. So I
Mm,
actually see them actually just edging out of Chelsea here and actually getting some kind of 2-1 or a 1-0 win.
okay. So Villa win.
Oh, Villa win, yes.
Okay. The way you said that, like no chance, no chance at all
Yeah,
for.
they're definitely maintaining that there. They've brought that fire in,
Wow.
recent games. Yeah.
But I didn't think that they played a good game against Manchester United though, on this last one, and they were just lucky enough to basically get that win. Chelsea themselves, I think that Chelsea actually has a chance to actually beat them in this game. So for me personally, I'm going Chelsea for this one because I feel like if I look at both sides, Watkins hasn't even been on his top form. So I'm thinking about where they're going to get the goals. Pedro has been scoring, as well as even Chelsea. They've even been trying to rotate and all with Enzo even starting from the bench and all that stuff. So for me personally, I think that yeah, Chelsea will actually pull this off. And
As if Chelsea's defense behaves itself.
you don't even know who's going to start for them. That's the crazy thing.
No Chelsea will concede. What I was going to say about Villa, just to your point, okay, is Villa haven't, like, when I've seen them play, even when they played us, there hasn't been anything just super impressive. It's just that they're very gritty and they don't stop. They will keep coming at you. They keep playing balls into Watkins, and they're ready to pick up those second balls. Tillemans is always right there. Onana is always right there, just waiting for the second balls to pick it up so they can feed McGinn and find something on the wings, find something in the attacks. And that seems to be their strategy. Very solid in defense. They're hard workers. Like, that's the main thing I've seen from them. So it's, yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. This one could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea won or if Villa won. They're both really good teams. What I like is, as an Arsenal fan, that one of them will drop points. Maybe both, even better.
See,
All right. I'll go Sunderland against Newcastle. This was another interesting one that, I wanted to see how Sunderland would do with AFCON currently going on, because they were going to lose a lot of players. But they seem to be doing okay too so far. 0-0 draw against Brighton. So they picked up a point there, and they beat Newcastle just 10 days ago. So I think they still had the African boys for that one. But Leeds have been playing really well. I think they have something like the 3 wins in their last 4 games, so they've pulled away from those relegation places. I think Sunderland and Leeds might just settle for a draw in this one. I just wanted to pull up the table so we see there's now 6 points between Leeds and Westham. So I think they were alternating with West Ham there for a bit. Now they're pulling clear completely of that bottom three. So if they can manage to pick up another point, I think they continue that little fight to stay in the league. I think the game that turned it around for them, or the period, there was the 2 games they played against Chelsea and Man City, which are, considering how they've been playing, very tough teams. And there was news apparently that Daniel Farker would get sacked if he didn't, pick up results from those 2 games. And then he went and got 4 points. Did Chelsea, picked up a point against Man City, and they've kept it going since. So Sunderland might need to watch out, but I'm gonna go with the draw for this one. All right, and okay, you get the last one. Palace,
ooh,
Tottenham.
Palace. I know, man. I feel so sad for Lacroix, man. If losing, scoring their own goal, as well as as well as missing the penalty for Crystal Palace. For me personally, I wish those were good penalty kicks in that specific game itself. But looking at this one against Crystal Palace and Tottenham, man, Tottenham has been trying their best possible to string some wins. There was also rumors that they were going to fire the coach at a specific point and all that stuff. But still, they haven't really done anything. Their last game against Liverpool, that was a real nice game. Obviously, with my crazy guy Richarlison always trying his best possible to be as scrappy as he can and all that. This might just be a very very good toss up. The last time Crystal Palace was out there in the EPL, they basically lost to Leeds about 4-1. So we basically don't know what to expect from these 2 teams at this particular point in time. But this is the time for us to basically see what the Tottenham squad is all about, what that mentality is, because they have the players in order for them to basically be part of the top 5 of the EPL itself, with Richarlison, Kolo and all that. And hopefully with the infusion of Solanke and all that stuff moving forward. But for this game, Mateta has been scoring amazing goals, as well as we've been seeing some good performances, even from the Nigerian Uche, who didn't get picked by the Nigerian squad to come to the AFCON. So they have some good, formidable players there. Wharton has also been a beast in the middle, and we could basically see the performance against Arsenal, basically keeping them to a 1-1 draw, going all the way to PKs. I give this to Crystal Palace because, for me, Mateta has been one of those guys who, for some reason, man, once is right there in the middle, aside from Van Hake or probably Romero, I don't know. They've been conceding this. They conceded 4 goals. I mean, they conceded against Liverpool the last time out. So I don't know. I give it 2-1.
They did have a red card to contend with in that game, but
That too.
yeah, that has to do with it. I think I don't know what it is with Tottenham. I don't know if they're just being Spursy, which, as an Arsenal fan, I'm okay with.
That's the
But
word.
like you said, like the talents they have, Kolomuani, Matthias Tell, they brought in Simons. They have Odobert, they have Brennan Johnson. like there's just so much firepower that's expected to be one of the high, and they're just struggling. They are on the
The
table.
coach is the problem here.
True.
Yes, is it Thomas Frank who is the problem, or
You got to figure it out somehow. He's just not doing the best of jobs in like utilizing the team or motivating them, if you ask me.
yeah? So maybe another loss for them in this game. Okay.
Sounds like him. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Matchweek 18 promises to be exciting, and the games don't stop. I think right after the last game ends on Sunday, and then we kick off again on Tuesday. So holiday season, best of times for the EPL. The games come thick and fast. We come into January and the FA Cup starts as well. So exciting times ahead for us fans. And on that note,
Oh yeah.
thank you guys so much for joining, and we're looking forward to Matchweek 19. Catch you on the next one.